you have what is termed as feminine or masculine, or what is typical and what is not typical. So, generally, if you were to define what femininity is, what will it be?
Okay, so there are a lot of definitions for femininity, but at the core of it is just operating in your essence as a man.
Okay.
It's just appreciating and understanding that you are a woman and not trying to be any other person, trying to be a man. So that's where it starts from, just accepting certain aspects of you that society upbringing is trying to sort of like force down and letting that part of you shine. That's just it.
Now, what you have just mentioned is the bone of contention because not everyone will be comfortable with that, especially feminist. When you say forming or conforming to what society is saying, in fact, if I were to read out a definition of femininity, they would say part of it is that femininity can be understood as socially constructed, and there is also some evidence that some behaviors considered feminine are influenced by both cultural factors and biological factors. But to what extent femininity is biologically or socially influenced is subject to debate. There are people who say that being feminine means you have to be fragile, you have to be soft, you cannot be aggressive, you cannot be assertive, and that is making the woman feel like she is weak.
I understand that, but those are just misconceptions.
Okay.
Really, that's just what it is. And there are a ton of misconceptions about femininity. Okay, one of them is thinking that being a feminine woman means you're weak. Listen, women are powerful. I don't know. I think we equate the feminine power to the masculine power. The masculine power is like hell and brimstone, hammer. It comes down, boom. Everybody knows that a man has, shown off that he has power. The feminine power is more subtle, and funny enough, sometimes it's more deadly.
Okay.
That's the truth. So, but a lot of people want to be seen as wielding that power, so they're not comfortable being that subtle person that wields that power without others even realizing that you've done what you're supposed to do. So there are a lot of misconceptions, and I think we're going to cover that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I said, it's what does being a woman mean to you? What does that mean to you? And of course, we have the traditional appearance and behavior of a woman, but we also have to understand that we are a combination of both femininity and masculinity. If anybody tells you that for you to be a wholesome woman, you only have to operate in your femininity, they're lying, because we have both traits. It's called yin and yang, right? There will be situations that you need to tap into your masculinity. It's as simple as that. The difference here is that you choose. It's a choice. You choose to operate more in your femininity, and that's it. And then when situation arises, you then show them that that you have the other one in you as well. It's as simple as that.
So, for instance, you see a woman who has embraced her femininity. What are the things she will be saying?
She'll be saying or she'll be
Will
saying.
be saying.
Okay, so first is the appearance.
Okay.
Okay, so when you in the femininity community, we absolutely encourage dressing as a woman. So the tomboy, gender neutral dressing doesn't work for us because I know that it works for other people, and that's why I always tell people this is a journey that you cannot force on anybody. They have to want it for themselves. And you, as a feminine woman, you also have to be accepting of the fact that people have a right to be themselves. Imagine a world where we're all the same. What a boring world, right? So first is the dressing, right? And she's going to dress in a feminine way, and that doesn't mean wearing pink. I have to
That's another
that
myth.
doesn't mean that's another misconception. It's not every feminine woman that wears pink. I don't like pink as much, right? So it's not about wearing pink and mannerism also,
Okay.
right? Listen, there's I want to say something weird, but I don't know if I can say it on the radio. There's this thing they said. I think it was in the U.S. Government setting. They said, "How do you define?" I'll not say it. And someone said, "When we see it, we know it. We don't have to define it." And that's how femininity is. It's one of those things that when you see, you know. So there are different attributes. Mannerism is part of that. The way she speaks is part of that. What she chooses to say is part of that. Okay. Because another misconception is speaking it very soft. Oh my God. That is not true. That is so not true. It's not the tone of your voice. It's what you choose to say, essentially. So there are a number of things. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for at least laying to rest, hopefully, some of the myth. For instance, femininity is not the same as fragility.
Not at all.
Yeah. And that you're a feminine woman does not mean pink is your favorite color. Does she always have to wear dresses and skirts?
Not at all. Because I have feminine clients who want to start their feminine journey and they're in the male dominated profession or before, because now we're having a lot of women going into those professions and we are always looking for ways to help them express their femininity. Sometimes it's as simple as having manicured nails. Sometimes it's as simple as having lashes. Like it's very. If you watch cartoon, how do you differentiate the male characters and the female characters?
Well, their figure eight body to start with.
Outside that, have you noticed always the lashes? If you're a cartoon fan, it's always the lashes. They could be the very same species, they look alike, but once you see the woman, she has
And the
lashes.
makeup.
Yes, yeah. So there's always ways to express your femininity, even if you are in a male-dominated profession.
Okay, so let's see if we can ruffle a little feathers.
Okay,
Body hair.
I'm not for it. I'm not for it.
Hair on the skin, hair on the legs, hair in your
See, hair on the
armpits.
legs, I can even understand because we are in a community, sorry, in a society where we're not raised to shave off our legs. It's now that we're starting to embrace that. But the one, because I've been seeing a lot of trends where women have hair on their arm. I don't even like a man having that. Talk more of a woman. I'm not for it. This is, please, fellow Nigerians, this is for me. This is not for another person. This is for me. It is not for me. I am not for it. It's as simple as that. That's it.
Okay. No further comments shall be made. Now, let me take you to something that French intellectual Simone de Beauvoir said that no biological, psychological, or economic fate determines the figure that the human female presents in the society, and that one is not born, but rather becomes a woman.
Hmm.
Do you agree with that? Do you choose to become a woman? Now, I don't mean in transgender terms.
Okay, so oh wow, that's a tricky statement because why I'm saying it's tricky is because to some extent I agree with it because there are a lot of women that society has forced into masculine roles. It's not like they choose to accept those roles. When you have women that are like breadwinners, there's no other person to do it. Women who have had terrible experiences with men and or women who just hate men for whatever reason. Yeah, we have that. Why are you looking
That demands therapy.
so you have all of that, and you have women who are so used to depending on themselves that they don't trust men, they don't trust anybody. For a woman like that, she's operating primarily, and this is me talking about energy, not physiological features. This is, I'm talking energy. So she operates primarily in her masculinity. She has to be in control every time. She has to be she's aggressive. This go-getter, independent. This must happen. You know those kind of women. So for a woman like that, talking to her and trying to get her to come back to her essence as a woman has to be a choice, and that is where she becomes a woman. It doesn't mean that physiologically she wasn't a woman. She was always a woman, but energy-wise, mindset-wise, approach-wise, mannerism-wise, has to choose to come back to her essence as a woman. So
Mm.
that's it really. But that's why I said to Tom, it's a very tricky statement. It's a very tricky one.
Okay, so we will take a short breather, and when we come back, we will be giving practical steps to becoming a feminine woman. What can you do? Maybe you're a tomboy or you just don't care about the essence of a woman, but you're having a rethink after listening to our etiquette and elegance coach. Well, she'll be telling you some of the steps to take in embracing your femininity as a woman. You're listening to Soul Sisters right here on Smooth 90.1.
You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
Make your
Is
payments
it streaming
contactless
normally?
with
So
MasterCard. You can tap,
I did the
scan,
same
or pay
thing,
by link. No
and then
more
I
fumbling through
tricked
your
it.
wallet or queuing
The
for
door.
cash. Whether it's for your local market run or a much-needed
And then
saloon
I
visit,
tricked
you
it
can
like
save
this.
on time with these easy ways
Tricked
of
it. How did you
instant
trick it?
payments. Because
To
it's
turn it
more
the
than
way it
just
says. So it said
payment.
going
It's
live, and then I
allowing
took it
yourself
back.
to live
But
every
it's
moment to the fullest
counting,
with ease.
but it's saying
MasterCard is widely
orientation is
accepted
locked.
in
Rotate
Nigeria
device
with
back, but it's
contactless
reading
payments, the
live.
safe
So
and
let's
convenient way to
ah.
pay. Priceless.
You treat yourself. Look,
Please not live.
Look at now. I thought
Yes,
it
I
was.
actually thought it was going live.
Yeah,
So,
it wrote live 11 nights, 11 minutes.
and somebody, it was this zero was one before.
Eh.
Yes.
Now that means somebody. Wait, you know what I was saying? I was saying you should pan the video. Like just move the camera. That's what I was trying
The
to say.
title of Slum King is
That's why I kept
reserved
doing like
only
this.
for the chosen, for no one else
no,
carries
just
an aura
move.
worthy of its weight. Follow Maja's
So
epic
please,
journey
so what
to
do we do
power
to
in
this
the
live?
all-new action-packed drama Slum King, starting October 8th and
Okay,
showing
from there.
Sundays at 8 p.m. on Africa Magic Showcase on DSTV and GoTV.
Hi, this is Lettuce C, and you're on Nigeria's #1 station for soul, jazz, and funk. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life.
welcome to Soul Sisters on Smooth 98.1. If you are just joining us, we're at the end of the show. It's 42 minutes past 11 o'clock, and the show ends at 11:50. So it means we have 8 more minutes, but you can still get something. We are talking about femininity and how you can embrace it as a woman. And we have also talked about some things that are not exactly femininity. For instance, femininity is not fragility. It does not mean you are weak. It does not mean that you have to love pink. It does not mean that you have to speak in your head voice all the time. There are times you need to engage that side that, well, is a bit masculine and depending on the situation. So yes, femininity is not what else now? Have I missed out
It's
on
not
any
the
points?
absence of masculinity. It's
Okay.
not, only having feminine hobbies.
Ah, true. It's not only collecting dolls and everything pink.
Exactly. It's none of that. It's not.
And my guest is the elegance and etiquette educator, that is Ayanime Edem. Now, before the break, she also dropped a bomb, her personal bomb, and said, "Oh, body hair, underarm. It's not. What did they call it? It's not empowering. So it's part of
It's not for me. I said it's not for
That's
me.
why I said personal bomb.
It's not for me.
Yeah, it doesn't work with
It
you.
doesn't work for me.
Okay, we agree.
Okay,
So-
let me ask you, does it work for you?
What about people who are hairy who just can't?
We're not. I understand there are a lot of medical factors because there are women who have beards and all of that due to medical factors. Please, they are exempted from this. I'm talking about women who choose. There is a trend on TikTok of women with bushy armpit hair. I'm serious.
That's not even the height of it. I saw one that was braided. Ew.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, let's not go into the mental picture. It is disgusting. Yeah.
That's the one I'm referring to, not the medically induced body hair due to testosterone level or whatever. No, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's important to call a spade and not what? A garden equipment. Because the truth is, beyond femininity or sweat stink. So really for hygienic purposes, and definitely this also goes out to the soul brothers, having underarm hair is not a sign
I think
of
that's the new
masculinity.
thing now. That's the new thing now.
Take it out, off, into the bin. Thank you.
Yeah. And there's one thing I wanted to address. You talked about feminism and femininity, and it's always been a bone of contention in the femininity community, because the feminists, they tell you that being a feminine woman means that you are not for femininity, and that's not true. And I think a lot of times, from what I've noticed, I stay away from conversations about feminism, not because I cannot engage in it intelligently, but because the the very aggressive feminists are the ones with a lot of followers, and they are very aggressive um
Approach.
in their approach, and that's for me. If I come to your page and I'm going through your content and my energy moves from peaceful to unsettled, nope, that's it for me. And I think at the core of it, a lot of them forget that feminism is essentially choice, equality, or my friend would say equity. It's just a blend of these things. It's a woman's choice to be what she wants to be, and it's also equality in the sense that, or equity in the sense that she should have the opportunity and resources available to men. Does that in any way take away from femininity? If I am a feminine woman and I say I want to become president today, and a feminist backs me up, does that take away from my feminine? Do I have to suddenly wear pantsuits and cut off my hair? And so there's a lot of pushback from these two communities. Oh, if you're a feminine woman, like you said, you're weak, you are not standing up for feminism. That means that you are a pick me. We hear that a lot. You are a pick me. Or a woman saying, I would love to get married. I want to take care of my husband. I want to nurture my family. Ooh, here comes the feminist. That does not make you, please. I'm sorry. I'm the weaker vessel. I have accepted it a long time ago. Take care of me. Pamper me, please. I don't want see feminism. I appreciate that in the society, in economics, in the workplace, but the traditional relationship, please be the man. I'm tired of making decisions already. Make the decisions that make me feel good. So that's it.
Okay.
And one more thing. This is coming out to the feminism community. Please be careful who you're getting your feminism content from, because there are a lot of women hiding their hatred of men under feminism. It's not a matter of us against them when it's supposed to be all of us together. You need men to make feminism work, but it's not a matter of it's us against the men, which that doesn't work for me. Or if you go on a date, I had a young girl, 19, send me a message and she went out on a date and the man wanted to pay, and she forcefully decided to pay her own half because somebody said that that's how you command respect, and now she
No
hasn't heard from the
way.
man anymore. I'm like, what do you want the man to do? So please be careful where you're getting your feminism, even your femininity content from too, because it's toxic femininity. So be careful where at the end of the day, be an individual. Make decisions for yourself that makes you feel good about yourself as a woman. And
That
that's it.
really is the bottom line, because you just need to not lose your mind in the
Yeah,
wave of ideologies and psychological
definitely.
movement. Please.
Definitely.
Misandry is not the same as feminism. Please take note of that.
Definitely.
Now, on a final note, what are the steps you take? I mean, you've already said that in between the lines, but just to be crystal clear about them, what are some of the things that you can do to embrace your femininity as a woman, to come alive as a feminine woman?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is there's a lot of mindset work when it comes to femininity. There's a lot of mindset work, and you have to get into the right mindset. And for that, you need to have the right mentor or the right content creator or influencer. Because if it's not about dressing, because that one is actually pretty easy, wearing dresses, accessorizing and flaunting your figure, that's very easy. It's the mindset thing. It's understanding your value as a woman. It's in your interactions with other women and with men also. So I would say the first step is getting into the right mindset, being comfortable with your emotions, with expressing your emotions, because there's a lot of need for women to show, and that's when you say, she's such a strong woman. Huh? No, I'm not. No. So it's for you, and it's for you to also understand that being independent doesn't mean that you're not a feminine woman. I think it's so important for you to be self-sufficient, because that helps you express your femininity. Vulnerability is a part of it. And it's not just about you being a vulnerable person, but making your space safe enough for other people to be vulnerable.
Mm.
And you not being judgmental of women who choose not to embrace the femininity movement, being softer in your mannerism. And this is one tip I always tell people: if you are in your home and you notice that you bang plates and pots and doors and drawers and everything, start there. Learn to accept compliments. Oh, you look so good. Ah, this small thing, I bought it 200 naira from. No, no, you are a feminine woman. Learn to accept compliments. Learn. We cannot cover. There's a lot, because I always try to tell people the appearance thing is very easy. The mindset one, that's where the work is. And also learning not to force things. This is draining, emotionally, mentally, physically draining, if you try to force everything in your life to work, where you push. By the time that thing happens, you're so exhausted that you can't even sort of like enjoy that thing. You're trying to force relationships to work. The man is, through his action, is telling you you're not for me, and you're forcing it. We don't force things. Feminine women, we work towards things. We make sure that we take the steps to make sure those things work, but we don't, use muscle and no.
The violence don't take you by force.
Just be divine. Be just, oh, I don't know. It's a feeling. Just be a woman and understand that things will work out. Keep doing what you're supposed to do and it will work out. Honestly, that's it.
Thank you so much for this soothing preaching or sermon on femininity. It's actually beautiful. Thank you for being here, and
Thank you for having me.
I look forward to another conversation with you. I do. I really do. Well, it could be on Zoom so that we eliminate every other thing that can constitute a barrier. But thank you. I look forward to another, maybe even a second part of this or something else. Or maybe we could talk about independent woman. Who is the independent woman?
I am not independent. I am indespoiled. I am independent and spoiled at the same time.
Okay, we want to understand what that means.
I'm self-sufficient, but I want to be spoiled. I can take care of myself, but please, by all means. You see women that say 50-50, I wish them luck. It's not for me. Spoil me, please.
I give up. Thank you for being a part of the show. We are now done. And to catch up with you on social media, how can they do that?
Oh, that's Ayanime_Edem. That's how you can meet me on social media. On any page, on any social media platform, that's Ayanime Edem. AYANIMEEDEM. So that's it. Anyway, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. That's the name.
All right. On WhatsApp, Oluwaseun says, I like this version of women. Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot take more. We are done. So thank you. Next week, we will return with another episode of Soul Sisters right here on Smooth 98.1. And of course, on the other side, you know that the soul music continues. The next two tracks will be about women. First, I'll play you Alicia Keys' Superwoman, and then I play Jaheim Puts That Woman First. This is Smooth 98.1.
Music.
This is Mr. C, and you're listening to
Oh my
Smooth
God.
98.1
I wish we had
for
more
music
time.
and
I
more.
wish-
So I'll buy a new
The
microwave,
conversation became
washing
very
machine,
interesting.
Yeah, towards the end.
I wish we had time.
All of that
I am so sorry.
district microphone.
Okay, so I guess the next time we could do Zoom, so you don't have to
Even
figure
if I
this
have
out.
to come, I'll have to leave the house. I have to leave myself at least an hour. I'd rather come sit here, be working, doing
electronics, fashion
something
items
than
at
be
affordable
talking.
prices. And if you have to return an item, you can easily initiate a return on the app and get refunded.
Trust me, that thing was
This
not
Junior
streaming,
Black Friday.
so
It has asked me, are you sure that you want to stop streaming?
Hey,
I checked
listeners
it
on
here.
Spotify are
It's
driving
not